Are still on our theme of Shomer Adamah, of caring for the earth. We're going to start by saying our blessing together, so please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who sanctifies us with mitzvot, commanding us in the counting of the Omer. And then we announce the day. Hayom Arba Yamim La Omer. Today is the fourth day of the Omer. So tonight I want to talk just a little bit about the idea of Shemitah. So we recently had a whole panel discussion where I taught about Shemitah just 2 months ago, but the idea of Shemitah comes from the Bible, and it's actually mentioned a few times in the Torah, but one of the times is in Leviticus, and in chapter 25, verses 1 through 26:2. That's a big range, but that's sort of where one of the ideas is. It talks about this idea that every 7 years, we are supposed to let our land lie fallow. So meaning for 6 years, we work the land, we plant stuff, we harvest the land, and then on the seventh year, we do not work the land, we don't plant crops and harvest it, but we let the land lie fallow, have a rest, and then the next year we pick up again. So that 7-year cycle, when we reach the seventh year, is called the Shemitah year. And we're coming up on a Shemitah year this fall. When we get to Rosh Hashanah, that will be the beginning of a Shemitah year. And we have a Shemitah, there's a project in our area, Shemitah Northwest project, where Deidre is thinking a lot about creative ways to engage in Shemitah in the Seattle area. And one thing I just want to offer to you to think about is that whole, one of the ideas of Shemitah is that for 6 years, so during this cycle, for 6 years, we live off the land, we thrive off of the resources that we get from the earth. And on the seventh year, as a way of having gratitude for all the bounty, all the things that we get to take from the earth, during that seventh year, we let the land lie fallow as a way of giving it a rest, a Shabbat. And so I am all for thinking about creative ways to interpret mitzvot into our modern lives. And so personally, I've been thinking about what is my Shemitah year going to look like. And I want to explore that with you and just offer, like, what is one thing that you could potentially think about making a change for 1 year. So a year, it's a long time. It's not forever, but as we know from our experience this past year, a year can be a really long time. And so the idea is to give up or do something different that it does have an impact on you. Because if you imagine for the Israelites, not harvesting the land for a year is a huge deal. So it's meant to be something where you feel the impact, but it's not meant to be something that just totally devastates you. And so, and makes it so that you can't survive. So some thoughts that I've been, I don't know, just some brainstorms I've had are like maybe, and I think this is all going to depend on just sort of reflecting on what are the things that you do and where could you potentially make changes. And that's going to be different for everybody. So for me, here are some of the things that I'm thinking about. And I shared some of these ideas at the panel. So if you were there, these will not be new to you. But one thing I'm thinking about is clothes, because the production of clothes has a really big impact on the environment. So I'm thinking about maybe for one whole year, I'm not going to buy any new clothes. Or if I do buy new clothes, I'm only going to buy used clothes. Another idea is we know how meat production, the meat factories impact the environment. So maybe doing, we are meat eaters in my family. So maybe for me, doing Meatless Monday for a year would be a way that we could have an impact. or it could be avoiding the dirty dozen, or if you're someone who buys water bottles at the store, maybe going a year without buying water bottles. There are all sorts of things that, it's not what it says in the Torah, but it's how you can make this personal and relevant to your life and have an impact for the better on the environment. So I would love to hear what people are thinking in the chat if you want to share your ideas, and maybe we can come up with some things that we want to do as a TBT community for the Shemitah year, both within our synagogue and as part of the Shemitah Northwest project. So looking forward to hearing from you, and I will see you tomorrow. Erev Tov.